So pushing away can be done a bunch of different ways. We're going to do pushing away with alternating hands, partly because it lets us practice a different mechanic. We practiced how to push from the back leg forward to make pressure. Now we're going to stand square to the table and shift and turn to make pressure. So we get to work our horse stance. We get to use both legs evenly. That means we're going to use both hands evenly. If you're trying to do sustained static pressure, like say I really wanted to work on a muscle here and I got in position and I wanted to push and hold that pressure, I wouldn't do the technique we're going to do. I would use the one we were doing before, pushing from my back leg forward and holding that, because I can do that all day. This is hard on me, but I'm just holding that pressure. If I want a wave-like motion, and I want to alternate my hands, I'm going to roll this so it's not halfway on the back, if that's okay. If I want to alternate hands and create pressure so that I can create a wave, then I'm going to use this step, pushing in a wave action more than down. This can be done on either side of the spine. There's no restrictions to that. Because I usually do this right after I do rolling, I usually roll, and I'm on this side of the spine, so when I do the pushing, I work the far side of the spine. Mostly because we're pushing the muscle into the spine all the time with rolling, and with this technique, we're pushing the muscle, kind of rolling it away from the spine, and I like to kind of mix it up that way. If you were worried about like only working her right side, you would do your rolling on this side of the table, and then you'd have to come over here and push away to be working the same muscles. I don't usually do that. I do my rolling on both sides of the table, on both sides of the spine, and then I work on my pushing away. This table is way too low for me, so your legs don't need to be as wide. Mine are not as bent down. You shouldn't be as forward leaning as I'm having to be, because this is too low of a table. If I'm working up here, my body can be more upright, and my legs don't have to be quite so far apart. It is a small shift and a small turn, because I like her. I don't want to push her off the table. She seems nice. But the pattern is there's a weight shift, there's a waist turn, and that creates a push. So I wrote that down, and then I wrote down the steps for each hand. So I'm going to push with my right hand. My weight has to shift into my left leg. My body has to turn to the left while I'm still in that left leg, and that will push with my right arm. Then my weight can shift to my right. I stay put and turn to the right. My left arm is going to push. The shoulder and hip that come towards the table when you turn are the ones you should be pushing. This arm is moving backwards. It's really hard to push and move backwards. So whichever side of my body is rotating towards the table is going to do my push. And what the number one problem people have with this is that they push themselves off the person. So they get into the left leg, they turn, and they push back into their right leg. And then they're stuck on the wrong side trying to figure out, why does this feel weird and not working? And it's because they sat back as they pushed. I'm lazy. I don't want to do any more work than I have to create that pressure. So I don't want to move my body the wrong direction and waste that energy. So I create force by sinking and turning, and all of that force is pushing to compress the muscle. And only when I'm ready to move on to my other hand do I sink and turn into the other leg. So you may or may not have noticed that it's opposite side. My right leg is doing the work for my left push, and my left leg is doing the work when I push with my right. Now, I'm exaggerating how far your weight shifts and your waist turns, just so that you can kind of see it. It's a small little shift and turn when you're really working on something. Whether you're on the same side or the far side, it's this much stroke. That's this much turn. I don't think you turn super far. So what I find is people don't have a strong connection between their hands and their center at first. I really end up throwing the hip to get the idea. That's okay. It is a bigger motion, so you get the hang of it when it can get smaller or fine. Right. Does that make sense?